Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome again to your Friday afternoon habit. We have hashtag Chakra Chat. Last week, we were not able to push through with our episode on oils because our guest had some concerns that she needs to attend to. But do not worry because we will be having her in our future episodes of Chakra Chat. To make it up to you, however, we would like to announce that starting tomorrow, because of our overwhelming responses and love from our audience like you who are tuning in right now, and for those who appreciate the contents that we have been sharing in Chakra Chat, we will be having an extended version and talk and we will be talking more interesting topics with our new program here in Chakra Yoga Studio, which is entitled Chakra Chatter. And this will be hosted by our very own teacher, Stephen, who was my co-host in the previous episodes. And tomorrow at 2:30, we will be premiering his episode and in every weekend that follows. Unlike with Chakra Chat, you would not know who the guest will be unless you are going to tune in excuse me, to that said episode. For tomorrow, our guest has already been a guest teacher in Chakra Yoga, and I'm sure that it will be another amazing discussion with more fun and new parts included in the conversations with teacher Stephen. Also, I have started a program called Come As You Are Chair Yoga every Tuesdays and Thursdays, which started last week. Hope you can virtually join me at least twice a week in doing yoga to do a quick parang break, no, while you are at the comforts of your home or while you are having a break in your office. Now, opening our September Chakra Chat sessions, for today's episode, we are going to talk about an interesting topic called abundance mind setting. And our guest for today is a yoga and meditation teacher. She teaches Ashtanga, Vinyasa, Yin, and Perinatal Yoga. So you see that a very wide range, no, yung tinuturong yoga ng ating guest para sa araw na ito. Her specialization is alignment and anatomical based yoga with 500 hours of training with Align and Refine. She's a firm believer that yoga knows no boundaries, so she made it her mission to reach out and share yoga to more people by creating relatable and fun sequences partner with her wit and humor. This is something very interesting that we might ask her more about later. And she has not only earned her title as Hugot Queen of Yoga, but she also successfully made yoga as a part of her daily life for her students. She has been a returning guest teacher and guest of Chakra Yoga Studio and also this program, Chakra Chat. And we are so happy for her availability and generosity to be part of the various activities of Chakra Yoga Studio. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome teacher Eileen Ramos. Hi, Teach. Good afternoon.
Hi! I'm so nervous because this is the first time we're actually doing this na ako lang mag-isa, that I'm the only one here. And I'd like to say hi to everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me again to be part of your studio chat, and also for giving me this opportunity to put on a dress and put on makeup aside from a yoga pants.
Yeah, and you know, Teacher Eileen, we really enjoyed a lot of your views in our roundtable discussion. And sabi namin ni Teacher Stephen, kailangan may part 2 to si Teacher Eileen na siya lang para mas mahaba-haba ang kwentuhan.
Thank you. Siguro talagang, because I'm madaldal talaga siguro ako. That's one thing also. All
Sige,
right.
Teacher, perhaps
How can we start?
yeah, I what I wanted to ask Tisha, parang in connection to our previous discussion, I know that you have already shared a portion of this during our roundtable discussion in the past in our chakra chat, no? But for the benefit of our viewers who just tuned in right now, could you kindly tell us a brief story on how you get to know and appreciate yoga as part of your life?
Okay, I started practicing yoga 6 years ago. So let's think of me getting to know yoga. It's like getting into a relationship. So like a relationship, when I first met yoga, it started on a physical level, diba? You see the how you see only the physical side of it. Parang relationship, when you meet someone, you see the physical things first, right? But then as you progress in getting to know yoga, or let's say yoga is the date that I have or the person that I'm getting to know, is that the more that you get to know yoga is that it's beyond the physical, and it starts to get to your emotional, to your spiritual. So that's how my yoga practice progressed. So 6 years ago I got into yoga because, like a lot of other people, it started because I felt at the time I was overweight. Well, it didn't feel, I was literally overweight with I came from corporate job. I was working a corporate job, and then I was in between job. I just resigned. So it gave me a time, an opportunity for me to just take care of myself, that break. And my former boss actually brought me along with her to go to a private yoga session with Alu Santos of Urban Ashram at the time. So when I was able to attend Alu, and then my boss, who got so busy already because she was still in real estate, I started attending yoga and bringing along my cousin with me so that I can afford a private session. Because of course I had no job then, but I was so into yoga that I wanted to continue the practice. And then later on, the wife of my best friend actually asked me to come along to go with her to Beyond Yoga. So there, then I started doing practicing in a yoga studio already. Of course, when you started practicing in a yoga studio, there's unlimited classes. And then me, having no work at all, I attended the classes as much as I could. I trying to get out of the unlimited sessions that I can get in a month. Like sometimes I practice twice a day, 3 times a day, and yun. So that's how I started practicing yoga. And then after 2 years of practicing, that I started enjoying so much of yoga that you know when when you're in a relationship, you started you want other people to meet that person in a relationship, right? So the same thing, I wanted to introduce yoga to other people. So it's sort of like I became like an influencer of yoga, and I started bringing along other people as well to practice yoga with me. And then I fell in love so much with yoga that I decided, why not become a teacher? Why not deepen the relationship and become a teacher, you know? So that's how I became a yoga teacher. And then yeah, in between the
I,
job, I was
I was
doing
thinking,
some events. Go.
I was thinking, Teach, that was it? You mentioned that at the start of the relationship that you had with yoga, it was purely physical. So more of
Of
parang
course.
exercise muna.
Yeah, oh, of course, it was just physical, and then the longer that I practiced, I know there was something different. It was, syempre, it's not just the physical anymore. Nagkaka-feelings ka na, di ba? So, yun. So, syempre, pag you know that you're having a deep feeling with yoga, then you wanted to explore it a little bit more, and then I wanted to become. That's why I took teacher training as well, and then I want to introduce yoga also to other people.
Right.
So that's why, and
Like
then I
any
became a yoga
relation-
teacher.
like any relationship, Teach, were there instances you find like may tampuhan then with yoga? Or were there
Oo
instances that you
naman.
didn't like to do yoga at all?
Yeah, like any relationship, may a hot and cold, di ba? May times na parang you think it's not gonna work anymore, but then sometimes you're bored with it. It's like just any relationship. So that's what yoga is to me. It's a relationship. And actually, it is actually a relationship to myself, you know. Sometimes you're bored with it. Sabi ko, ano ba? Tutuloy ba natin? So like even with Ashtanga, I started a very strong practice Ashtanga. It was a love-hate relationship with Ashtanga, man. Hindi na ba ako makakalagpas sa Marichasana D? For those people who knows Marichasana D, di ba? Para hanggang dito na lang ba talaga tayo? Kasi kinakausap mo talaga yung sarili mo. Ano na, girl? Hindi ka na makakabakasa na. O, kamusta naman ang headstand mo? Ganyan. So, I was like always having this inner conversations when you practice yoga. And those are just the things that you have to go through when you're in a relationship.
Right. Sige, Teach,
Yeah.
with your concept of yoga as a relationship, I know that there has been part of the why you were named as the Hugot Queen of Yoga, and that's how you are fondly known as a yoga teacher, no? So, could you kindly tell us why this title was given to you?
Oh, okay. So after 2 years in the I can't remember. Okay, so this was 2 years. After 2 years of practicing yoga, I became a yoga teacher. I took teacher training with AV 108, and then after 2 years, I launched my personal brand, which is Eileen Hugot Yoga. When I thought about it, actually, marami nang pinagdaanan yung branding ko. Nung una, nagsimula yan sa being, and then nag-iba ako, nagpagawa ako ng logo, nag-iba pa siya. Tapos, sabi ng friend ko na magaling sa business, sabi niya, being by, what does being mean, Eileen? Parang it doesn't sound like you, it's too formal. Tapos sabi ko, oh, and you're not formal, Eileen. Sabi, tapos, and then we were joking around, and tapos, yan, hugot ka na, hugot. Ganyan, wala ka naman kanina. Sabi ko, hugot yoga na lang kaya. It started as a joke, and then, there, it became a brand. And then Hugot Yoga, and of course, I tried to consult with so many people who knows marketing, who knows branding. There are some resistance from other people. There are also other people who found it funny and fun. I just changed the Hugot into a Hugot to make it more of an international brand, but in a grammatically it's wrong. I know, I'm aware of that. Grammar is wrong. Hugot Yoga. But who cares? It's
Right.
just so it's this the reason I did that was because also it puts the humor that I have when it comes to yoga. You know, it's for me, it can be fun. Yoga can be fun if you want it to be, diba? So that's it. And I guess that helped me become the way I teach yoga is like this. It's like a relationship, you know, because people sometimes when you talk about yoga philosophies, they don't really understand what that is. So in the end, when you're trying to the yoga for us, if you've been practicing yoga, or if you're new to yoga, actually, sorry, is that you're usually thinking that yoga is just the asana. And that's just one part of it, right? Yoga is actually a philosophy, and philosophy of yoga is, and when you look at the definition of philosophy, it means the study of your existence, the study of your reality. And that's why yoga is studying how to be one with the universe, how to be whole. So basically that's it. So it's not just the asana. So what really happens outside the mat is the real yoga,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So we just learn yoga, how to practice yoga on the mat so that we get to understand ourselves a little bit more. And whatever we learn on the mat, we take it out of the mat and how we practice it in the real world.
Yeah.
I hope people understand that part. And that's where the hugot comes from. Like, for example, how do I usually teach it? Oh, kunyari, if you're teaching forward fold and you cannot reach for the floor, diba? The lesson that I can get that I usually teach my students from that is that, you don't need to reach for it and force yourself into reaching things. If it's not yet time, it's not yet time. You can get hurt if you force it, just like love. Oh, mga
Wow.
ganyan ang mga hugot ko. So, now they understand, oh, touching the floor is just also forcing things in your real life. That's it.
Mhm.
So, that's how I infused the yoga philosophy into teaching Hugot in my classes.
It is very interesting, Teach. No, there are two things that I really, really liked with the things that you have mentioned thus far. You mentioned how our brands should always be connected to who we really are, or else the brand will not work at all. And then the second thing that I like is even if it's technically parang grammatically not sound ang Hugot yoga, we know that even in yoga, di ba, you don't necessarily need to be perfect or to be right. You just need to do it and to experience and to have fun with it, no? Which I really appreciate. But teach for someone to be named as Hugot Queen, correct me if I'm wrong, dapat di ba may pinanghuhugutan ka? Where do you usually get
Nako,
your hugot?
marami na akong hugot kasi sa pinagdaanan ko sa life. Masyadong marami. Masyadong siyang marami. It's that, because it's just how life is. Life would always throw challenges at you, will always challenge you, and how you handle it, how you deal with it. Siguro for me, iiyak ko siya for a while, pero sometimes I'll find humor in it. That's the only way for me to get through out of it. And then, of course, I have a support group that has helped me through it all. And I guess that is the reason that, hala, wag mo akong paiyakin in this, show. Iyakin ako sa totoong life. I'm a crybaby. I don't wanna cry. Wait lang. Nag-makeup ako para hindi ako umiyak today. Sabi ko magmamaskara ako tsaka mag-eyeliner ako para hindi ako umiyak. But I'm really a crybaby. Um, I'm also humor ko, I guess. People always see me as a bubbly person, but
Yeah.
deep inside, for those people who really knows them, a crybaby. Ayan na, naiyak na ako. At yes, marami akong pinaghuhugutan. And my students have seen me in my ups and downs. And yes, because of the, everybody has been going through a lot for the past few months.
Right, right.
And we're just learning to navigate better in this world now that we have, in the world that we live in now, especially now, di ba? Sorry, ayan na, tumulo na
It's
yung luha ko.
okay. It's okay, Teacher Eileen. I think that what I understand, even if you're not directly answering the question, bakit ka tinawag na Hugot Queen? Now I know because you're really connected within you, and when you say words, talaga maiiyak ka and matatawa ka. So it's really part of who you are, and I
I,
truly truly appreciate the idea.
well, because also it's my experience.
Mm.
I'm 40 years old. I'm so my experience in all. I have 40 years of experience, I guess,
Yeah.
of joys, triumphs, failures, learning, diba? And experience is a universal teacher, diba? So
Mm.
that's the only way for me to also share my experience is through teaching yoga and what I've learned, and then I like metaphors that I learn on the mat. And sometimes when I'm teaching yoga, even in my social media, whatever quote I write there, it's always a reminder to myself. I'm just usually talking to myself out loud, and then nandiyan lang din yung mga estudyante ko. Kasi ako rin yung pinapatamaan ko nun sa totoo lang. Ganun lang ako magturo. I'm also teaching myself. I'm also a student to myself and to my students. I'm also learning from them. Yeah.
Yeah, and Teacher Eileen, that I've always told Teacher X about it that I was really inspired, even just in your quick. Even if I wasn't, di ba, nag-host lang ako ng Zoom no, no nag-teach ka sa Chakra. Sabi ko, sobrang galing. And now I know it's really your experience and it's really your story that matters also when you are teaching, which I truly truly appreciate. And you know what, our audience right now are really appreciating you as well. We have here teacher XT saying that yoga as a relationship, no? So it's a
Ay,
very
sorry, ngayon ko lang nabasa.
it's a nice metaphor now, according to teacher XT. And then we have here Daniel Jimenez. Sabi niya na this is great information. This went out when you said that yoga should be experienced beyond the mat. No? So, yeah. And ako rin, ang dami ko natutunan so far ha sa pinag-uusapan natin. Sige, Peach,
Yeah.
para to give you a breather from your personal experience.
Okay, no, ready ako. Just don't mind me because this is just me being me. I'm being authentic right now. No filter. No
Yeah.
filter tayo today. I've actually prepared myself for this and this is just how I am on a regular basis. Minsan tatawa kayo sa akin, minsan iiyak kayo sa akin. Baliw lang. I'm really a crazy person. And also, siguro my life is also maalaala mo kaya level. So, that's why I've learned so much from it already. Yun
Ako
lang.
din, parang nakita ko yung life mo, parang yoga yan eh, di ba? We start slow and then we push hard and then we end resting again. So parang I think very mesh talaga yung relationship mo with your yoga experience and practice.
Yeah, I agree. And also, di ba, even in a yoga practice, we sometimes we come across this resistance. And that's just life. Sometimes we get overwhelmed with a pose.
Mm.
And the way for me to learn about it is to just see the changing perspective. Um, Sometimes when we just come out of challenges, it you can take it in two ways. Eh. You can be disheartened, give up, you know, or the opposite of it is just learn to let go. So there's a difference between giving up and letting go. So you can let go and learn in that letting go.
Mhm.
Because there's a difference of giving up and there's a difference of letting go for now and let's learn how we can change this perspective so that next time that we approach a challenge like this again, maybe we can be better. Like it's like repeating a pose after the same pose. Like for example, let's start with Bakasana. When you're coming into a bakasana or crow pose, for those who are not familiar with poses of yoga, bakasana is the one where you're balancing on your hands and you're just trying to push yourself off of the floor. You know, it's scary sometimes when you come. It's your first time to come to that pose of balancing on your hands and lifting yourself up because you have when you get the best, when you let fear get the best of you, you get scared because baka nga naman your face will hit the floor. That's the fear of it, right? But what if you didn't hit the floor? What if you're able to lift your feet off of the floor and you were in that moment? Because you were scared, hindi mo na appreciate the moment that you were able to lift up.
Mhm.
Instead, you were focusing on falling. So that's why sometimes we fall, and that's similar to the abundance mindset. That's why I think yoga practitioners have really an advantage to be in an abundance mindset. I started actually having getting interested with the abundance mindset. It's so funny how the universe works actually to get me into it. Talagang push me into that direction. I didn't realize. I usually have my Instagram. It's like in my Instagram is like my diary. Every year I have a intention, and that's my hashtag for the year. So for this year, my hashtag was abundance 2020. And when I put it there, I didn't realize na parang seryosohin ko siya for 2020. So that was my intention for the year, and I never really focused on looking for abundance until it found me again during this challenging times. And to think it was the challenging times, doon pa ako nahanap ni abundance. Doon pa ako nahanap ni abundance, and he really knocked on my door and said like, girl, tumigil ka na dyan sa pagdadrama mo. Wala kang magagawa sa pagdrama-drama. Kailangan mo kumilos. Sabi sa akin ni abundance. Kailangan mo kumilos, you know. And I think that a lot of people right now is, it's okay that we feel sometimes we're stuck in a rut. And because we just realize things. And that's getting stuck in a pose as well. Just like the sequence in Ashtanga, you get stuck in Marichasanadi. But what would you do after getting stuck in a pose? Is that then maybe you can compromise, you can do adjustments to yourself on how you can get past the Marichasanadi or one pose. And then after that, when you get past it, then you learn something from getting past that pose. If you're able to get past it, good. If not, there's another route to get into the next pose, you know. You don't have to get stuck with it. And I guess that's the inspiration also for me to get into the abundance mindset. Is like it's changing my perspective as well.
Yeah.
And
Sige, teach, since we're already in the topic.
Hindi ko alam kung paano ko kasi ipuput my thoughts into words. And because I'm so excited to discuss this, guys. I'm so excited to discuss this already.
Since we're in the topic of abundance already, which is the main meat of our session for today, could you kindly tell us, Teach, what's your personal concept of abundance?
Just to give you a background, for the past few weeks, I've actually led I went into an abundance meditation by Deepak Chopra, 21 Days of Abundance. It was actually passed on to me by my dear friend, Carmelo Balagtas. I don't know if he's listening. If not, he might see this video in the future. But thank you, Carmelo, for giving me that opportunity to learn about the 21-day meditation of abundance with Deepak Chopra. And one of the tasks there is to also share it to a group of people. And I also shared it actually to some of my friends and to my students who were interested to get into the abundance mindset. Deepak Chopra, I will share to you his, I wrote down his meaning for what abundance is. But for me, abundance means I have actually a, what do you call this? A PowerPoint presentation for this. Okay, this one, for the meaning that I have, so that you already know what meaning is this. Hold on. There. Okay. I'll put it in a big screen. Then you can shift. All right. Can you see it? The big screen? Okay. So there. So abundance for me, this is my meaning. I like creating, I don't know how you call it. You put meaning to the letters, acronyms. Is it acronyms?
Yes,
I don't know how
correct. That's correct.
Okay, so for me, abundance means abundance brought by the universe. No one is denied. So anyone can have abundance. Oh, dami ko palang zero doon. Typo. Halatang kanina ko lang ito ginawa. And then, all needs can be experienced. So that for me is abundance. Everything that you need can be experienced. And no one is actually denied from this. That's what I can share for now. Some people might not agree with that, but that's my meaning to it. And then in relation to that, I would like to share to you the meaning that may notebook talaga ako dito, guys. Sorry, this is my journal. The meaning that Deepak Chopra actually gave. This is not the exact word, but I just wrote whatever I can write during the time that he was speaking. In his meditation, he said, true abundance can be found when we experience joy, happiness, peace, and let our needs be met by the bounty of the universe that flows through us in all facets of our life. So when we say, so when we think of abundance, sometimes we get stuck on the monetary part, on the wealth part. That's actually one part only of abundance that necessarily is meant true. Some people are have prosperity, but they don't have the abundance in relationships. You know, they don't have the abundance in spirituality. When we're talking about abundance, abundance means all facets of life, and this is possible by you also changing your perspective. Um, okay, what are the facets of life? I have another slide here. Alam mo, teacher talaga eh. Sorry guys ah. Okay, the facets of life, there are 12. So the health and fitness, that's one. The intellectual life, the emotional life, the character, that's one facet of life. How do you become abundant in your character? How do you become abundant in the spiritual life? Also, abundance in love and relationship. Naku, gusto natin yun, syempre. Your life vision. How do you visualize your life to be abundant? Diba? Quality of life, career, financial. And that's usually a lot of people just focus on the career and the financial and then they let go of the rest. Social life, how can you make your social life abundant? It's not about the quality. Sorry, baliktad. It's not about the quantity of people that you have in your life, but the quantity that you have also, right? Baliktad dati sinabi ko. It's not about the quantity, but the quality. Sorry, that's it. The quality that you have of people around you. I guess that is the social life. And then the parenting, may it be you're a parent or may it be that you still have your parents with you. How do you make it abundant? You know, those are the facets of life. And I was able to get that from one of the webinars of Mind Valley. And that's one of the advantage, I guess, during this space that we have lockdown during the pandemic. It was an opportunity for us, for me, it is an opportunity for us to go to healing. When the world is so fast moving around us, we always have excuses. I'm busy doing this, doing that. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. Now that you have time, what are you gonna do about it? Right? So I just take this opportunity for me to enrich my life. At the I'll just share to you at the start of the pandemic, like everyone, we're like, syempre lahat tayo para, oh no, what we're gonna do now? We're yoga teachers, everything's gonna close, gym, there's no social distancing in yoga studios at all. We touch with adjustments, everything, right? Everything was chaos. Everything was chaotic. But then when you learn to step away from it and you step away, like, see, I will always have metaphors in a yoga practice. When you can't do a headstand, what do you do with it? You can't just keep on hopping up and down, and you just fall over. You need to step away. For me, it took a while for me to get into a headstand. I had to literally dream about getting into a headstand. I cannot get into a headstand because I always think in my head, I always fall. Until one day, I stopped thinking that I will fall. I start shifting my perspective into thinking that I will be able to lift my feet up. And I started talking to myself, why can't you do that, Eileen? Parang, why are you always thinking of yourself of falling when in fact you can actually just lift your feet up? That's it. And then I started dreaming about it. And then later on, with right guidance and with the right mindset. So it always starts with the mindset um, that I was able to get into a headstand. And it's the same with abundance mindset. We have to shift our perspective. It's not about just positive thinking. With abundance mindset, it's actually accepting where our reality is because you need to know first where you are right now. In abundance mindset, it's not about waiting for the apple to arrive and the universe for it to give us to us. It's not about just the universe giving it to you. You need to realize first the universe wants you to get the message first.
Mm-hmm.
That you need to realize first where you are, and then when you learn and when you realize where you are, then maybe I will start giving you gifts so that you get to learn to appreciate this gift that I'm giving you. Because if you don't know where you are, tapos binigyan ka ng regalo, then hindi mo ma-appreciate siya kasi you don't even know what gifts are.
Yeah.
So I guess that's how I can explain abundance to you guys is that you need to know, you need to accept your mindset, you have to change it.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Yeah.
then, was it clear? I
Yeah.
don't know if it was clear.
Yeah. Actually, Teach, I'm also in my 19th day of Deepak Chopra's abundance meditation, and I even shared it to some of
Yay!
the teacher. So, relate na relate talaga. I can really relate
Was
with
it
what.
Stephen who did it?
Yes, yes.
I gave it to Stephen actually. I'm glad. I'm glad that you're there. I'm glad you're part of it. I hope you're enjoying your journey and everybody's on the journey. A lot of people who join the Deepak Chopra 21-day meditation, they cannot commit it to every day. One of the things that I always um, advise those who I invited to join is that they take it at their own time. They don't feel pressure. Always practice compassion and kindness. This is not a race. You know, you are in your own journey and just enjoy it. The more that you realize that you're in a journey, the more that you'll be able to appreciate it.
Yeah. My wife was also is also part of the program. Tapos medyo sometimes na parang nagigilty siya kasi nahuhuli siya and then I am progressing faster than her. Sabi ko, okay lang yan kasi 'di ba, the abundance mindset as well. It's not a race, it's not a competition. It's really, appreciating the journey that you are having as of the moment.
Ayan, may question nakikita ko na. How do you do an abundance mindset?
Yan, from teacher X.
Nako, ito na. Ito na. Okay, it's actually very interesting. There are so many I am not an expert. I'm telling to all of you already, I am not an expert of the abundance mindset. I am also just a student and I am just sharing to you what I've learned so far and what I can remember right now. So for me, abundance mindset, how do you do it? First, you need to realize things first. You need to know where you are. So it's like the art of war. You need to know how the battle can be won, right? You need to you need to accept the reality of where your situation, where you are right now. And knowing is winning half the battle already. Okay? So with knowing, then you know how you can map out your plan. It's funny, I don't even realize this but at the beginning of the pandemic, when I was doing this, when I started my brand, actually, I didn't realize that I was mapping my plan. I was already visualizing how I can be a better yoga teacher, how I can create my brand when I started it. And I didn't realize that I was actually doing abundance mindset already. This is not a this mindset has been there in a long time. You might have practiced it without you even knowing it. If you've heard of the secret law of attraction, that's actually the abundance mindset. Um, the difference is that there's actually it's not about the difference. The thing is from knowing is how do you do to get to that dream. It's taking the steps. So that's the abundance mindset. And then you create the milestone on how to get to your goal or to your vision. Um, First, you need to change your mindset. What are the things that you are thinking? You are in a scarcity mindset. So the opposite of abundance mindset is scarcity mindset. And we don't even realize we have in a scarcity mindset, especially in yoga. In the yoga community, we think that yes, we are in the practice of sharing, but we also have our needs. When we have our needs, you cannot share, you cannot give when you are lacking, diba? You cannot pour from a cup that is empty. You have to fill the cup so that when your cup is full, then you are able to share a little bit more. You pour from. I got this terminology from Lisa Nichols. She's one of the people that inspires me right now. If you check her out, Abundance Now, that's her book. And I always listen to her audiobooks and her YouTube videos. Is that you have to pour from your saucer. It's not from your cup. Your cup has to be full. And whatever overflows from that cup is your saucer. And that's where you share to people. So as yoga teachers, we always think that if we're in the business, we are not in the business. We're always in service to others. But you cannot serve others when you're empty, when you're hungry. You cannot teach when you're hungry. How can you teach when you're hungry? So that's one thing. You also have your value. You have to put value to yourself as well in the things that you do, in the service that you do. So I guess that's one thing that we have to change first, our scarcity mindset. What are your scarcity? You need to identify your scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset in the all facets of life. What are your scarcity? And I'm also going through these things. You need to write it down. What are my thoughts in money? Do I think money is evil? If you have that thought, money will not go to you. You
Mm.
know, money is a tool for me to help other people as well. Money is a tool for me to be able to provide to myself and to my family. Money is not evil. You have to say that to you because if you think that money is evil, money will not go to you. That's one part only. If you think relationship, if but there are some things kasi that the scarcity mindset. Sometimes it has been imbibed in us by culture, by religion. No offense to religion, but or also to generations before us, to from our parents, from our grandparents. They have this belief that they kind of inculcated into our soul that it's hard to take away. And then you need to identify ano ba yung what's holding me back. Especially like today. I've had my I've always had this wall whenever I speak in front of people because I've been bullied when I was younger. And for me to get out of that situation, sino mo, naiyak na naman ako. Being bullied and it took away my confidence. But then and you're always afraid of judgment, of what other people will think. So, and that creates a wall for you. So the scarcity mindset is that I need to remove that because I know I have a message here that I need to share. And then I need to take it out of myself and I'm just a tool. So I need to get out of that and I am giving myself the permission to spread my wings today and speak up. I am giving myself that permission because sometimes you allow people to not give you that permission and you've let it because siguro I grew up to become a people pleaser. But today, I am not pleasing anyone. I am just going to speak my truth.
Mm.
Hi, Rachel. So, there.
Yeah. Sige, Teach. I just would like to follow up on what you're talking about abundance right now. No, with all that is happening in the world, with all the negativities, perhaps, no, that we have been exposed to, especially in social media, how can people still manifest abundance in their life, di ba? Kasi parang it's hard to think that you're abundantly okay when life
What's
has.
happening?
Yeah. And lately,
Okay.
I have a student, for example, I have a student before who is experiencing a loss of a relationship because of various death and because of several other circumstances. No, so how can I feel abundant with my current circumstance? Parang ganon.
I know I can super relate to that, guys. Okay, just to share to you, um, I was COVID positive. So for me to be have an abundance mindset was really hard. You were at the most vulnerable situation. I'm not sure if anybody should know this, but yeah, I'm telling it now out and loud. I was COVID positive, but I am happy that I went through that because now I am capable of helping other people who are still going through that situation. Um, so how do you become a positive thinker and have an abundance mindset when you're in that situation? Practice gratitude. I was in a relationship, and then when I got positive, my relationship ended because of the situation. Of course, parang feeling mo, parang everything fell down on me. Parang what happened? I felt so abandoned. But at the same time, during that feeling of abandonment, the universe showed me that I wasn't abandoned at all. Gifts came to my doorstep. People helped me at the time that I thought so alone. I was actually never alone. So love from people, not necessarily from one person. Imagine it's also actually unfair that we are just asking one person to provide everything when there's so many people around you who can provide the kind of love that you actually need. At the end of the day, we are here to love and be happy, diba? So I guess the mindset is that you need to find something to be grateful for every day. With all the negativity out there, what I can always say is that you filter also what you put in your head. We have an advantage of the internet. It's both an advantage and a disadvantage, and it's always up to you on how to use it. It can be a source of learning. It can also be a source of distraction like an A, and distraction like it can destroy you. So it really is up to you how you do things, how you really navigate through all the noise of today's world. The thing is that you also okay, my train of thought is gone. May moments akong ganyan, guys, ha? Nawawala yung train of thought ko. So with abundance, so how do you shift from that? I guess for me, by experience, I just started practicing gratitude with the little things. As simple, even like this. Whenever I walk, that's why it got so dark right now because I was confined for like 7 weeks. I cannot go out. I became so white and I'm so usually tan. That's my usual color. But now I'm tan again. It's where your perspective is actually. I love walking outside now, of course, with the mask and everything. And there's a place here in BGC. Despite of all the buildings here in BGC, you can actually find spots, areas where you can find tranquility, little gardens. Okay, we have that space to find that. And it doesn't have to be a like right now. A lot of people are going into plants. For me, I find joy, little joys, little things that I am grateful for. Sometimes it's so funny when I go out at lunchtime, I see the heat of the sun coming down on me. I'm like, should I walk? Should I really walk at this intense heat? But then when I started to walk, I started shifting my perspective. Instead of looking at the sun, I enjoy the sun. And I started to enjoy the small breeze that touches my skin. Wow, so very poetic. And then you get to see, I really enjoy right now the leaves falling from the trees. I feel that those are the moments with God for me. Those are blessings that I am able to witness in this quiet walk. The reverence of God He will always show you that He's around, but it's just up to you to open up your eyes, or it's just up to you to open up your heart to it. You know, um, but at the same time, it's always I think it's in the Bible that He will always give you gifts, but it's always up to you what to do with those gifts. So that's part of the abundance mindset. I sorry, I keep on crying. I don't even know why. Iyakit talaga ako. Sorry. But yeah,
Okay, H, Rachel and Chakra Yoga Studio administrator sends their hugs to you.
I
It feels,
know.
yeah. Sige, Teach, now that we're in the topic of adversities, no?
Yeah.
What is your advice to people who have gone through a lot of adversities in their life? How do you think can they be conscious enough and acknowledge that they are still capable of experiencing abundance?
Well, they need to get out of that thought of being a victim. Sometimes when we are into that adversity, we are faced with adversity, we sometimes feel so helpless, and there's nothing that we can do about it. There are things that you can control, and there are things that you can't control. Things that you can control is your actions, your and reactions to life. There will always be shifts, there will always be changes in life, and we need to learn to grow, glow into the changes. You know, um, like today, as early as like in this, what I can share to you. Sometimes it's gonna be so sunny, sometimes it's gonna be weather, it's gonna be rainy. All of a sudden, babagyo na lang, di ba? That's the Philippines, and we need to learn to go through the shifts of the weather. Otherwise, if you get stuck, that's why I guess yoga really helps because you know that's the part of detachment.
Hmm.
We try to practice letting go. We try to practice detaching from and learning to flow with whatever life is going to give us. Did I answer your question? Ayan.
Yes.
na ano na ako. And then for people who are going through difficulties right now, um, look around. Look around first. Be grateful for what you have. Um, we still have so much. That's one thing I guess right now a lot of people like to declutter. When you declutter your life, Marie Kondo living. When you declutter and you are grateful for what you really have, you just realize actually you have so much more than you actually need. And you just don't see it because you don't even realize you have it until you lost it. Diba?
Hmm. Yeah.
So we're always looking for something that we don't have when in fact everything that we need is actually provided for.
Hmm.
And we just don't appreciate what is just there. We need to learn to appreciate what is there. And then from there, if you want something, you have the skills to actually get it. I think every one of us have skills. And if you don't have the skills, get the skills to learn it, to get into, to bring yourself into a situation that you need. For example, like me, I realized at the start of the practice, I just want to share to you guys how I've been dealing with the with the pandemic, with also with our economy right now, diba? So yes, bills don't stop coming. That's facts of life, facts and everything. That's facts. Bills are there, forever gonna be there. So what are you gonna do about it? You need to find ways, skills. You have the skill to learn, to earn. You have the skills to earn. You are gifted with skills. You are a teacher. If you cannot be a yoga teacher right now, then you can actually find other ways. And then at the same time, you don't need to let go of your passion. You just have to be very, very smart about things. You
Yeah.
need to also to let go of luho, what is luxury,
Sure.
diba? You need to you need to appreciate food. Whatever is there in your refrigerator, you have so much more than you ever think of, diba? You'll be surprised sometimes that you keep on buying stuff and then and then sometimes nasisiraan lang kayo ng pagkain when in fact you have so much food at your house. We don't really get to realize these things. We tend to hoard so many things that we don't really realize that when we're hoarding, we that's the scarcity mindset, hoarding. Um, that's why you don't get to appreciate your what you have. And universe, don't be afraid to ask for help. People around you are there because that's part of your abundance. You need to learn to receive abundance. If people give you help you, learn to receive it. I mean, you can't be a victim and saying everything na, oh, I don't have this, I don't have this. When people give it to you, parang, I guess the mentality of Filipinos sometimes nahihiya tayo.
Mhm.
Mahiyain tayo. We're always embarrassed about our situation. When I was COVID positive, I stopped being embarrassed about it. People send me help, I'll accept it. I'll eat it, whatever it is. Diba? For me to be alive and to be fighting, that's a blessing. So, and I'm so grateful to all the people who has helped me at the time that I was at my weakest, because those are the people that I will cherish forever, diba? So, I felt so blessed even at my weakest. So, I guess it's really perspective.
Mhm.
Sorry, I can't stop crying.
It's okay. Sige, in the duration of our conversation this
If you
afternoon,
have, yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I
yeah,
think I'm not sure if it's in my Facebook page, but I will try to look for you in my Facebook page.
yeah,
There
baka
might be
meron
some questions there.
sige, Teach,
Yeah,
considering that in the duration of our conversation, most of
yeah,
the things that you've been talking about are directed to our audience. I'm interested to know, looking back in
yeah.
your life and your experiences, no, what is your advice to yourself for you to experience a real sense and honest to goodness abundance?
Huh. Honest to goodness, abundance. For me, I'm still in my journey of abundance, actually. Um, I guess never my advice to me is just continue the journey. It's not gonna be easy, but if you want it, you can get it. No excuses. You know, stop making excuses, Aileen. That's what I always say. Stop making excuses. We always have excuses. Not to accept what the universe really wants to provide. It's actually our worst enemy is ourselves, diba? We're not helping our situation as well if you keep on bringing yourself down. So you need to always come out of love and not from ego. So there's a diba. So that's also how what you can always be your guide is every day, so that you don't get to overwhelm yourself with this tasks that you need to do because you have a dream and you want that dream so much that for you to be able to get to that dream, you need to move, right? And when you move, I always ask myself, what can I do today that will make me one step closer to my dream? If you have
Mm.
a dream, what can I do today? If you, let's say, positive, if you are in a situation, let's say, for example, as a yoga teacher, I know a lot of yoga teachers right now have are not doing well, and I'm not saying I'm at my best situation right now. I'm also working towards a better situation, but I think we create our own opportunities as well.
Yeah.
Um, Opportunities are there, to be honest, left and right. You just need to find those opportunities. And before you even find them, they actually come knocking at you. Um, Sometimes I even have, sometimes it's just, and then also when opportunities come to you, you need to learn to say no to the opportunities that you think is not part of your journey. Hindi
Yeah.
lahat ng opportunity kailangan oohan. You need to
Yeah.
also to learn to say, to set your boundaries. Is this gonna bring me to that dream, to that what universe really is giving me? Parang it's actually your life's purpose. Is it really part of your purpose? If it's
Mm.
not, set it aside. But if that, for example, for those who are having a second job right now because they cannot be a yoga teacher. Just being a yoga teacher is not enough to survive in today's economy. How can I shift to becoming a full-time yoga teacher again? What are the things that I need to do? So while you're working a second job for your income, for your day-to-day life, maybe you need to learn other things like digital marketing. Maybe you need, because right now we're in an online presence already. Maybe you need to learn how to brand yourself. And that's one thing that I'm also looking into, considering in creating a course for yoga teachers, is that I want to help the yoga teachers and the fitness instructors and the fitness industry on how to create your brand. I guess that's one thing that I'm one of my interests right now is I'm studying digital marketing and all these things because I want to share my knowledge to people who needs help in that aspect as well. How can you earn in this online platforms right now? There are so many ways to earn right now. What are the things that you can do that you are able to still, um, what do you need to learn in this new platform? Even as a yoga teacher, it's, I mean, you already know how to teach yoga, so then maybe you need to learn other skills that could help you. I guess that's the abundance mindset, is that you can only put limit to what you're able to get if you limited yourself. But if you don't put a limit to what you can do as well, then abundance will just flow through you.
Right.
And yeah, you just need to, accept, learn to accept. I guess one of the things that really holds us back is the same things that hold us back in our yoga practice: fear,
Mm.
doubt, diba? Those are the same things that hold us back in getting abundance. And we're so, our past is always holding us back, diba? So need to keep on moving forward. Any
Okay.
questions? Give us some daily abundance affirmation that can help shift our mentality from scarcity to abundance. There's no specific abundance affirmations that I can give you, but if you have, first you need to identify your scarcity mindset first.
Mm.
Let's say, what are the things that you grew up with that you think are your blockages? That's why you don't accept abundance. Like for me, I'm working. Um, I am first. You need to look at your life. Saan ka ba nagkukulang sa buhay mo ngayon, 'di ba? And then what are the things that you need to fix it? And what are your thoughts? You need to write it. You need to really write it. Those are your assignments as a human being. If you need to write it and for you to heal from it. What are the things like, for example, um, like me, I want, and the way you say your affirmation, you don't say, I don't want to get hurt anymore. Diba? Parang, sa relasyon, I don't want to get hurt anymore. You're looking into the see, you're looking into the what you don't want, but it's actually sending a message to the universe that, oh, what he actually hears is like more of the hurt, but instead you like, I am deserving of a healthy, conscious relationship. What are you looking for? So instead of looking at the negative statement, you turn it into a positive statement. I am blessed with prosperity, and I have all the necessities that I need in my life right now. And you already claim it there. So those are the things that I usually work on myself. Like for example, with the food, the provisions of the food, for sure you always think that you don't have food, but you're actually well provided by you don't even realize dadating na lang yung pera pag kailangan mo na. But of course you have to work for it, man. It doesn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah, you have to work for it. If maybe you need to improve on the marketing side, maybe you need to improve your networking, your sales, how to close sales. It's a business. You have to learn the business, I guess. If you're in the yoga business, for the yoga teachers or whatever industry you are in, for us to survive today and stop complaining. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're so focused on complaining. That's negative, diba? We're so focused on comparing ourselves to others. Others have it well, they're lucky, they have this, they have that, they have that. Our list of complaints and excuses are so long. We should stop that and just focus on what you can do today for yourself. What can I do today? And then when you're able to provide for yourself, then you can start sharing it to other people. The more that you start looking at other people, I think that people kasi parang, oh, buti pa siya, may ganyan, may car, may ganyan. But then, those are just not necessities anymore, especially now. Diba?
Yeah.
We need to stop complaining, I guess. That's the first thing that we need to do also. And when you complain, you need to change the narrative in your story. And do something about it.
Yeah. So hopefully, XT, we've answered your question. I think that what Teacher Eileen was telling is that we really need to make it personal by looking into our scarcity mindset first, and that's the time that we respond with a positive affirmation of abundance. Okay. Sige, Teach, meron ka ba bang mga question na nakikita on your page?
I think Rachel, okay, free breathing or super daily yoga for COVID positive people. Okay, because I am actually part of the COVID positive group already. So for breathing exercises, that's one of the things that really helped me during the time that I quarantined. Especially if you have shortness of breath. By the way, when I was going through it, I didn't stop practicing. I didn't stop teaching. And of course, I live alone. So I had to carry my own heavy stuff. Rest whenever you need to rest. If you can't breathe, go to the doctor or go to the hospital if you need it. But if you can, practice mindful breathing, 4 counts of inhale, 4 counts of exhale through the nose. If it's hard to really breathe through the nose, then you can start to shift through the mouth. But if you can also prolong the exhale, that would be good. This also helps with dealing with anxiety and stress, because that's one of the things. What's one of the number one, more than anything, if you're COVID positive, pinaka your enemy is anxiety and stress more than anything, because it also lowers down your immune system, which gives you a harder time to recover. Um, Meditation, I would suggest do a lot of meditation. If it's hard for you to move, do at least meditation, because that would help you deal with anxiety. If you don't know how to meditate, internet is always there to teach you. That's where internet happens. Instead of looking at, I have no judgment. Instead of looking at the bad news, try to filter out and start shifting to all the positive things. If you go to my YouTube channel, but we have a home, and then YouTube already knows all the suggestions that you usually tune in. It's funny. All the things that my YouTube channel has only for me are meditation, music for sleeping, those, what do you call those? Yung mga parang theta healing music. Yeah. Affirmations, Lisa Nichols. It's all about abundance. It's all about law of attraction. Those are the only things I watch in my YouTube channel. Of course, there are suggestions on news, but I don't. I skip the news. I cannot look at the news right now if I am not healthy in mindset right now. I cannot help other people right now. Um, I am helping people the best way I can. I know now, right now, is just through my students and sharing what I can for now. That's what I can do. It's not about me being an ignorant when what's happening with the news, but I'm also helping myself mentally so I can help other people mentally.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
let's leave politics to the expert.
correct. So yeah,
I cannot do that.
Teacher Eileen, we're at the end of our conversation right now. Since we have been inspired by you in many ways, no, and you've always been part of a Chakra Yoga Studio. Is there anything that you would want to share? Where can we catch you? What is your Facebook page, etc.? Maybe you might want to invite our viewers.
My Facebook page is of course it's Eileen Hugot Yoga. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel. You can always catch me there. Actually haven't started creating abundance videos about abundance mindset. I am still in my journey of learning, and actually thank you for this opportunity, for giving me this opportunity to actually start sharing it and giving me the permission to share it, because now I think I'm giving myself also the permission to have the courage to start sharing it to other people as well, because sometimes, see, that's me having a scarcity mindset. I'm afraid of judgment, why I'm not doing it yet. But now that I'm here, that you've given me this permission, um, I am I am giving myself also the permission to start talking about it and start sharing it to other people as well. I hope you enjoy your 21-day meditation, teacher Sam, and I'm
Yes,
sure
yes.
your journey would be amazing as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Teacher Eileen. Yes, I'm really enjoying my 21 days. I'm still in my 19th and I'm excited for the
It's so
last.
unnerving sometimes yung tasks, no?
Yes, yes.
And
I
it's a lot about looking at the past, right?
right. I remembered, right? Parang 18 ata, 17, parang we are asked to write a letter to your country, which is something, huh, country? And then that was actually a very fulfilling experience as well.
Yeah. Um, One of my dreams is actually to reach out to more Filipinos to practice yoga. That's
Yeah.
why I started teaching yoga in Tagalog.
Yeah.
Um, in my YouTube channel, I have a couple of videos in Tagalog, and that's what I actually. I haven't done it also in a while. I haven't done much YouTube videos recently because I finished a 30-day YouTube yoga challenge, and then I'm just taking a break from it because I'm now I'm in a different journey right now of healing myself and preparing for the next step. I'm constantly moving. I might be just quiet.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to quiet down so we know where to move forward to.
Right, right. On that
Yeah.
note, thank you very much for always gracing your presence in Chakra Yoga events, no, and like how we usually end our sessions here in Chakra Yoga and all our classes, we place our arms together in prayer on top of our heads, and we bow down to each other, recognizing the good in each one. Namaste.
Namaste. Also, well, we'll talk offline.
Sige. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And tomorrow we'll have Chakra Chatter with Teacher Stephen. God bless.
Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Rachel,